Hey, hey, hey! We live, baby. What it do, y'all? Today we are here to teach y'all some stuff. Let's talk. Hey, hey, hey! If you're just now joining this video, please share this video. We're gonna give some great tips during this video. If you're just now joining, I am Lavera Coleman of Coleman Financial's Credit Repair, and I have this dark piece of chocolate with me today.
And I'm Chris Coleman of Coleman Financial's Credit Repair.
And listen, we're the owners of Coleman Financial's Credit Repair. Listen, we've helped hundreds of people not only just improve their credit scores, but to overall better their lives. So
that's it,
and that's the goal, period. Like, for real. Hey, y'all, what's up? We are back. I know it's been a minute that we have went live, but y'all in for a real treat today. So, what are we going to talk about today, Chris?
Well, first of all, for those of you who are actually working on your credit, you're actually doing something, you're actually, whether you're sending letters yourself or whether you are in the process of working with somebody, kudos to you, because that's a tough part to get over in the first place, just to get to the point where you want to start working on something that can make you a better you. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. But today's video is that, man, how do I maximize this process? Yeah. How do I get the most out of it? How do I make sure that I am able to win in the credit repair process?
Yeah.
Right? What's up, Trey?
And if y'all can hear us, put the do signs up. Just to ensure that we can hear, that y'all can hear us. Because it's about to be good, y'all. This is about to be awesome.
I don't want to be just talking into a monitor. Y'all, I forget to ask that. So make sure that if you can hear us, put the little peace emoji thing up so that we can make sure y'all, there we go.
Yes.
Right. So, Lavera, I know this is your thing. You know how to, you're like really the credit guru.
Yeah.
Right?
I try, you know.
Right. But listen, so what we're going to be talking about, y'all, is making sure that y'all know how it is. And this is really for the people that are already in. If you're in anybody's credit repair business, if you're in somebody's credit repair business, I want you to make sure you know what you should be doing. And if you're in our program, you know that a lot of people have tried credit repair before. And when they come to us, we're not a company that's going to jump on the bandwagon and badger another company, because we really understand that credit repair is a two-sided street.
It is.
Okay? You gotta both be working in order to maximize. I don't care how good the credit repair company is. You gotta have both sides working. And that's just it. So let's talk about what being a good credit client looks like.
Okay. All right, y'all. So typically when we get people, who are inquiring about any services, or just, we're talking about our services, but even in your process, you may be looking at, you may be in a separate state, but again, the process is all the same. So when you're looking at, okay, so what is my role in the credit repair process? And typically people think that they just come into a process and it's like, okay, well, they're going to do all the work. Well, that's only half of it. So
that's what I thought, honestly.
I know, and most people do, to be honest. They get into a process and they're like, okay, so I got so-and-so working on my credit, and that's it. So what are you doing? They're like, much of anything. Like, I'm not doing anything. But listen, there's a role. You have a role in this process as well as a credit repair company. So we're going to talk about both roles. So what is your role in this thing? When you come in, most times we already have negative items that are posted, whether it's collections, charge-offs, bankruptcies, all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. But again, we may have some positive stuff, we may not. But here's your role. If you have open accounts, okay? First of all, number one, if you have open accounts, you must have your accounts current, okay? So that means your car note, your mortgage, whatever you have open, credit cards, it could be anything. But if it is open and active, no credit repair company is going to suggest that you stop paying these things.
And for the credit businesses out there, I know we got a lot of friends that fix credit as well. One of the very first questions we ask our client is, can you pay your current bills on time? Okay? Because it doesn't matter how good we are. If you can't pay your current bills on time, it's going to be knocking that credit score down every time we raise it up.
Right.
Right? So you want to make sure you're doing that. That's rule number one. Be able to pay your bills on time, and all accounts that are open must be current. Okay? We're not talking collections and stuff. Okay?
Right.
So that's number one.
That's number one. Number two, okay, so if you have credit cards, okay, this is not a time where you go and swipe your credit card and max your credit card out and hoping that because you're in a credit repair process, they're going to be able to take care of this. Listen, credit repair companies only work with negative, inaccurate items, okay? So with your high utilization, that is one of the main and quickest ways that your credit score will fall and fall very quickly.
That's a lot of
let's
points.
say, for instance, we get you a heavier number of points during the first round, and all of a sudden you got happy and was like, oh, my credit score this, I'm just gonna swipe my card. Well, that utilization is the second largest category that helps to build your credit score, period. That is 30% of your score. That is 165 points potentially just in that category. So when you're losing 60, 80, 90 points and you're truly maxing out this category, that is terrible, and it offsets your process in any credit repair business. So this is something very key, y'all. You cannot be maxing your credit cards out. Utilization, they say it should be under 30, but I tell my clients keep it between 10 to 15% if you can, and only spend what you can afford to pay off in a month. So we are, we're about building healthy credit scores here at Coleman Financial. So that's number two.
So I'm gonna have to keep on jumping in here because I think she can go for a minute on these topics. So number two is utilization. What is utilization? Utilization is, hey, if I gave you 1,000, how much of that 1,000 are you spending? Okay.
Right.
So if you're spending 900 of that 1,000, you are not the type of client that I'm going to be wanting to give more money to, right? And the way the credit gods, the people that's calculating the scores are like, no, I'm going to take that score down. She's becoming a risk. I think she might be getting ready to run because she didn't use $900 at $1,000, and I think she might be getting ready to give up on having good credit.
And they will drop it. Talk about that.
And your score will drop, right? And if they feel like if they get too scared, they're gonna take your $1,000 limit and break it down to $600 or $500 anyway. Be like, oh no, we giving her too much money. She using all that, or he using all that. Right? So that's another thing when you get in the credit repair program is be conscious of that. Now you can come in with that, but as long as you're working a process into paying that, and not having it go up from the time that you start your process. So that's a big thing.
And what's also don't get, I want to say this too, like when you go into places like Sam's, because they're not very familiar with like how things are reporting on your credit profile, they may offer you things like alarm systems that may end up reporting like they are a credit card, but in your mind they tell you it's an installment. So if it actually hits your credit and you're actually maxing your credit cards out or that card before you even hit the store, now you got a new account that's posting to your credit that's already maxed out. So just be very careful as when you're in those places and they're encouraging you to do certain things, especially in Sam's. Sam's has this alarm system that they have, and it goes onto your credit like a line of credit, which is like a revolving account, and that fluctuates that category that I talked to you guys about, which is that 30%.
Could you imagine getting ready to buy a house and you go and you got an alarm system that hits your credit that you gotta pay the $6,000 in order to get your points back? That is crazy. It's not even a credit card. It's an alarm system.
Right.
That you got to pay $6,000 on to get it back. Now, that's the kind of stuff that can happen. So that's a really good point, Lavera. What else? What other things can you do during the credit repair? I got one, right? So when you're in the credit repair process, this is not a time to ignore collectors, okay? If a collector hits your mailbox, if they calling your job, if they're showing up at your house, that is when you let your credit repairer know, right? Because it's our job to stop them, okay? And make them follow the law, okay? So that's not the time to run. That's not the time to dodge. You want to actually be on top of that. Actually feel good about that. Feel like, man, look, I pay a whole credit repair company and I'm going to make sure that they get this information because they got my back on this, right? So that's another thing is making sure that you're doing that because, of course, If you don't send nothing, then they got a free trip right to your credit report.
Yeah.
And when they hit your credit report, your score goes down. Okay? All right? What other things?
I got one. Student loans. So this is a huge one. So sometimes people seek credit repair services and there's some things already in motion. And I'll touch on this. So student loans is not like your traditional 30, 60, 90 day late. They go just straight to 90 days late, which means it has to already be in motion for 3 months before it hits your credit score. Okay? So what I mean by this is you're going to be responsible for keeping your loans in a status. A status meaning in a positive status. If you are in school, they are in a status. That's deferment, okay? If you have graduated, you should have placed it in either forbearance or income-driven repayment plan. There could be a multiple things that you can place it in, but the most common is either income-driven or forbearance. And sometimes they'll let you put it in deferment, but you have to qualify. There's so many different things you have to do, and most people don't qualify for that. But just making sure every year, once a year, y'all. Every year. Do not skip this out. I'm telling you, put it on your calendars, put it in your phone, because when it posts to your credit, it's going to hurt your feelings. And it's going to hurt our feelings too, because everything that we have done, especially if you post, whether it's the first, like I've seen people say, well, I'm about to stop this credit repair process because y'all caused my score to go backwards. Well, no, listen. In the credit repair process, we only work with the negative items. So if your credit score is dropping, I'm almost guaranteeing you something either new posted, reposted, or you had some late payments that are posted during the process. So just make sure that with student loans that you are owning your student loans, y'all. You call these folks once a year, just once a year. It probably take you about 2 hours. You know, sometimes they don't want to answer and do all that, but it's worth it. You don't want to lose 100 points because you forgot to call them and put your loans in a status, okay?
That's good. Another thing is your mindset, okay? Whenever you are in credit repair, you have to have the mindset that if I'm paying these people monthly, I had better be doing my part.
Right.
Because if I'm paying somebody monthly, it's already an expense, right? The reason why our credit even got there is really, y'all, because our lack of respect for expenses. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know I didn't pay them folks. You know what I'm talking about? I was in a jam, so I didn't pay them. So I really wanted to point that out, is that you got to respect the process and saying that if I'm paying on something monthly, I got to make sure I'm doing my part to speed this up. Okay? So it's more so like the emails that I'm getting, the phone calls I may be getting, whatever I'm getting, I need to be using that information. So that's another way to maximize your credit repair process, is to be engaged, right? Great companies like to see that. Some companies may not want to see that, but we actually like to see that because our goal is to get to the story. We want to hear about you winning, period. That's it. Like that's the thing. Credit nearly destroyed us. So anytime somebody getting a come up off of it, it's like, oh yeah, man, that's it. Like that's why we do it right there. What else you got, Lavera?
All right, so now we've talked about, and there's more, of course, but those are like the most common things. But now we're going to touch on, like, what is the credit repair's role in this whole thing? And how do you know if you have a good credit repair company, I would assume? Well, in our process, first of all, the credit repair company, our job is to work with negative and inaccurate items. So how we do that here at Coleman Financials, we actually talk to our clients. So because we know the law, we partner with you in finding out what information do you know, whether they've sent you things, whether they've offered you settlements, all of that stuff. So we work with inaccurate and negative items, okay? So our role in this thing is identifying the errors in there. Mm-hmm. It can be some of anything. And then also properly coaching you on like how to increase your credit score, whether you have given us a goal of wanting to purchase a home, wanting to refinance your car, or just overall wanting better credit. It's our job to make sure that you are given information that you can benefit from and task in order for you to improve your credit score. Now, in Coleman Financials, we don't assume you know anything in our process. So we're gonna hold you take you step by step.
Right.
Some companies will kind of tell you, hey, go do this. No, we're gonna give you the link. We're gonna tell you where to go to apply for them. We're gonna tell you how much to pay. We're gonna kind of break it down to you here at Coleman Financials, because a lot of times we may or may not have the information, but what do we really know what to do with the information is like the key thing. So the credit repair role is to work with the inaccurate negative items. Their role is to get your credit report cleaned up. They're also responsible for coaching you, educating you, and informing you on where you stand in your process. So if your credit score is dropping, I'm almost guaranteeing you, and it may not be your credit repair, but I have seen it where you got to be careful who you hire, because if they don't have the right knowledge, they may be asking for things to be removed that really honestly shouldn't be removed, like student loans.
Yeah, that can hurt.
Student loans, if you remove your student loans, half of the time our student loans is the oldest account that we have on our credit report. If you delete your student loans, half of the time it's going to delete your age. So you got to be careful at who you actually hire, because if they don't know what they're doing, then they can mess your credit profile up.
Right. Because we also talk to a lot of credit repair companies, we hear a lot of other examples. And another thing is, and this don't happen so often because it just all we got to get is a sign of it, and we're on your line. What's up, Tiffany? But if you're in a credit repair process, that means that person had the expertise that you needed in your life. Don't go and take advice from the person right next door, right, on something that you're paying somebody else for.
Right.
So don't go listen to Baby Lulu about credit, right, when you're paying somebody on credit. You know what I'm talking about? Because Baby Lulu might not know what she's talking about, right? Baby Lulu might be telling you to go and get a lamp. Like I used to be told, go get you a lamp, pay that lamp on time every single month, and your credit score gonna be on point. I'll never forget that, right? Go get you a lamp. That's all you gotta do. Oh, just call them folks. Just call them creditors.
And make arrangements.
Just call all of them and make arrangements. Girl, you're gonna give up all my little rights, right? Yeah. I'm just gonna get on the phone, put my voice on the phone, say, yeah, this is Chris Coleman. Hey, I wanna make a arrangement. Just verify it all. Now I gotta pay the balance off.
It's me, y'all. Y'all, I did this, I did that.
When credit companies are deleting the whole account because of its inaccuracy.
Come on, man.
Right? So just want to point that out as well, y'all. This video was really put out there because I've never seen it. I was like, why don't people just really help out folks? Let's make sure they know. Let's make sure they know, how do I maximize, man? Chantal, you putting so many hearts up there. I see you, girl. How do I know how to carry myself in a credit repair process? How do I, because you're doing it because you won't change. Right. And that means that you have to make change. You can't go through doing the same thing you were doing before you made the call. You gotta switch it up. You gotta start paying the bills. You gotta start attacking that debt. You gotta start bringing those numbers down, because your goal of next year is right around the corner.
Right.
So you gotta be getting yourself in financial shape, right? Okay. On top of the fact, credit repair is monthly, unless you're paying somebody illegal and you pay the flat fee, which is illegal in credit repair, by the way. But if you're paying monthly, you're already vested, right? Mm-hmm. You're already vested. So that means that you want to be making sure you're getting the most out of it. Anything else you want to say, LaVere?
I don't think I do.
Think you got it? All right. So any questions out there? Let me scroll down here, y'all. I think we hit quite a bit. So we're going to recap real quick. What type of things can you do in order to make sure you're maximizing the credit score? Credit score, credit score building process. Number one is pay your current bills on time. Be in position where you can pay all open bills that are coming to you, okay? Now, when I say bills, I want to point that out too. Some bills report to the credit, some bills don't.
Right.
Like AT&T cell phones, Sprint cell phones, they don't report until you stop paying them.
Right.
So don't feel like paying them on time affects your credit score. It doesn't, okay? That don't go to the credit. I'm talking about places like your car note. I'm talking about places like your credit cards. I'm talking about Royal Furniture, right? I'm talking about cons. I'm talking about your mortgage. I'm talking about things like that. Those are the places that report monthly. We got to make sure they paid, right? At least for now, because we got some politicians trying to make it where all your bills affect your credit. Imagine what kind of trouble we gonna be in then. That's a whole nother video, right? But that'll be scary. Imagine if you pay MLG&W late and it was on your credit, right? Oh my God, like that, all our scores would be low, right? So I know mine will. I wait till they call me before I pay them. All right, so that's one thing. All right, the second thing is what else? Your utilization. When you do have a credit card, remember they're watching you. They're trying to see, okay, I done gave that man $400. Let me see how he spent it. First month, oh, he spent the whole $400. I'm not sending him no more, right? As a matter of fact, if he leave that thing close to $400 for 3 months, I'm gonna take it down to $100.
Yep.
Right? Utilization takes your score down. How many points in that category?
165.
165. 165 of the 550 available points are in utilization, which means that, first of all, it means you gotta have a credit card. I know coming from the hood, we kind of scared of credit cards. We used to burn them up, fill up some gas tanks and all that. So we don't really like credit cards that much, but credit cards are an important part of our credit score. I ain't do that, but you know how it is.
Oh my Lord.
Right. So y'all got that, right? Utilization. Make sure you're protecting that utilization. I'm not saying you gotta wait until you pay all your credit cards before you start, but you definitely want to be working that thing down throughout your process. What's the third thing?
The third thing is student loans.
Student loans. Man, look, listen. I remember talking to someone, I was talking to a sister, and I was like, now you know you gotta renew them food stamps every 6 months or every year. Now how you forget the food stamp renewal? It's the same way with the student loans. You got to renew the student loans. They gonna drop 100 points off your score. That means that, man, anything can happen at that time. Your car can break down. You can get into a wreck. You need to flip a vehicle. You need to refinance. You need to buy a house. There's no telling. You need your score to be high at all times so that you can do what you got to do when you need to do it.
What'd you say, baby? Tell them I'm still broke.
That's it. Call the student loan and say, y'all, look, I'm still broke. Can y'all give me some more time, right? I'm still not rich. Still not rich. All right. All right. What else it was? It was collections. So when those collectors hit your mailbox, when you get those collection letters, this is the stuff that your credit repair needs, okay? Because they have to stop them before they get to your credit report. Your credit report is your life, okay? I kind of picture us walking around with little numbers above our head. I watched a movie like that, and I was like, man, like what if our credit score was that crucial? What if it was that, it really is, but what if we really looked at it like it's that crucial? We would be a whole lot more protective of it. Right? So with your credit scores, with these people sending you letters, the only way they're going to hit your credit report is if you fall back and do nothing.
Right.
Right? That's what they want you to do. They're going to make you a court date and expect you not to even show up.
Right.
Right?
Most people don't.
Our clients show up with letters.
Yep.
And when they go into the courts like, you know what, let's dismiss this because we really don't have nothing on it to prove that it's theirs. Let's delete it. Right? That's the kind of stuff that happens once you take action. The last thing was mindset. Okay, you got to have the mindset that, listen, if I'm going to be paying somebody monthly every single month, I'm going to get the most out this process.
Absolutely.
Right? I'm going to be engaged. I'm going to be talking to them. I'm going to be reading their emails, anything. Anytime I see their name on my phone, I'm going to be reading it and responding to it because it's an investment. Okay, it's usually a 6 to 9 month investment or more, depending on what your score is. It can be a year. Right, of credit repair. If you're paying anybody $100 a month, right, or $89 or $79, whatever you're paying out there a month, make sure, right, that you are getting the most out of it by doing your part so that you can make sure it's two people working together.
Yep.
It's like a relationship, right? It's just not so fun when only one person is really doing the right thing.
And you're nurturing an asset. Like, credit is a big asset, like, for real. It's just powerful. Look at it that way, you know. Whether your credit score is growing or already where it needs to be, it's an asset. Right. So work on it.
That's it. So, Lavera, I want to ask this to conclude this video. What made you make a video like this?
What made me make a video, because I do see a bunch of posts. I do see, you know, some clients or that reach out. And my thing is my heart goes out to teach and educate. Because of my, you know, of what I didn't get, I want to make sure that I'm giving it to my following and my clients. So even if clients who or people who are not my clients are asking me certain questions, then I want to make sure that I'm giving value. So I think that this video will help not just my following, not just my clients, but anybody. If you're sharing it, it may help your friends, family, and people who you love. And so that's what we need more of in this community. We need people who are willing to pour into other people, expecting nothing in return.
Awesome. And it's really the same thing for me, y'all. The way I look at it is that a lot of people have made the decision on their credit, but they're missing the opportunity because they're missing some of the understanding. You get what I'm saying? It's like, man, I finally made it over that hump and I'm in it, or I'm doing it, or I'm with that company, or I'm doing it on my own, or whatever, but it's something missing. There's some pieces missing that no one had given. So that's what I'm expecting this video to do, is to put some information out there to help you understand, how do I move in this process? What can a credit repair company do? Is it magic, or is there some work involved? So I wanted to make sure that this was put out there to help some folks. Like Lavera said, my expectations is really nothing except for I just want people to see it. So if you don't mind, share this video. Hopefully it can fall on someone's timeline that may be able to get themselves in gear, y'all, to have the best year in 2020 that they've ever had in like the last decade, right?
Absolutely.
Because my 2018 and 19, that's what happened for me, right? Because of what I did in 2017. So I'm just really, hoping that someone gets this. So y'all, that is it. Again, my name is Chris Coleman of Coleman Financial Credit Repair.
And I am Lavera Coleman of Coleman Financial Credit Repair. And listen, we ending this live. Again, please share this video. Whether you are watching the replay, if you can hear us, make sure you A, share, and then B, put the peace sign up. But for now, we logging out, and bye, y'all.
All right, y'all. Have a good day.